Hey guys, so let us see how much we know or remember. Um, Access to this link is in the chat, so you can select the link and practice. So the first question says, which of the following best describes a crystal lattice? So it's not a random arrangement, it would be a regular 3D arrangement of particles. That's what a crystal lattice is. Once you see 3D arrangement and it's regular in a pattern, that's the answer. Crystals have definite shape because of the repeating pattern. Not because it's arranged randomly, it's because of the repeating pattern. Stratiform is not a type of crystal lattice. So we know that we have ionic crystal lattice with ionic bonding. Oh no, we have ionic crystal lattice with ionic bonding, we have covalent, and we have metallic. So therefore the correct answer is D. We did not speak about any form of gaseous crystals. And if you think about it, gases won't have crystals. Now the arrangement of ions in a solid salt crystal is best described as a regular geometric pattern. This right here, molecular cluster, would have been representing the molecular crystals such as supermolecular and the giant molecular. Number 5, which particle arrangement is mostly associated with a solid metal? Solid metal. Oh, metal. Alright, so solid metal, it has to be C of delocalized electrons. Here it is. Regular lattice of positive ions, positive cations in a sea of delocalized electrons. Alternating layers of cations and anions would be talking about ionic bonding. Right? Okay. And discrete molecules would be once again simple or giant. 6 says, which property is common to all types of crystalline solids? They have a fixed melting point. That is true. Which force is mostly responsible for the stability of ionic crystal? Electrostatic force of attraction between ions. Number 8, which of the following solids has a regular repeating structure? I'm gonna go with the diamond. We did not speak anything about glass, plastic, or wax. Spoke about diamond. Number 9, what kind of bonding holds metallic bonding? Number 11, which of the following is an ionic crystal? So diamond would be giant molecular. Sodium chloride, this is ionic crystal. Silicon dioxide is also giant, and copper is metallic. Number 12, in ionic crystals, the particles are positive and negative ions. Once you see ion for ionic crystal, that's the answer. Number 13, ionic solids are usually not soft. They don't conduct in their solid state, they only conduct in their molten or dissolved state. Ionic crystals are hard and brittle. Yes. I didn't make mention of anything being a liquid at room temperature. Remember, hard due to their strong ionic bonds, and brittle, meaning that they can easily break, especially when the ions line up. Number 14, why do ionic compounds have high melting points? Due to the strong electrostatic force of attraction. 15, ionic compounds conduct electricity when molten or dissolved in water. 16, the structure of an ionic compound is repeating units of molecules. No, molecules is for covalent. A lattice of alternating ions. Yes. 17, which of the following is the property of sodium chloride? Conducts no. Low melting point? No. Soluble in water? Yes, it is. Sodium chloride can dissolve in water. Metals would have been malleable. Any metal. 18, which bond is formed when electrons are transferred? Ionic bond. The ion arrangement in a lattice of potassium bromide is a repeating pattern of K plus and Br minus. 20, ionic crystals break when hit because, here we are, like charges repel when layers shift. Number 21, which of the following is a covalent network solid? Covalent network solid. This question is not that direct because we have carbon dioxide and diamond. But okay, yeah, it would be diamond. Yeah, it would be diamond. Solid. Number 22, diamond is hard because of its strong covalent bonds. Let me see if I find that answer. Here we are. Each carbon forms 4 strong covalent bonds. Yes, that bond is not a property of covalent network solids. We know that they have high melting points. This is it. Conduct electricity when molten. But that covalent cannot conduct electricity because they have no free ions or no free electrons. 24, silicon dioxide has a similar structure to diamond. They're both tetrahedral. Diamond and silicon dioxide are tetrahedral. 25, covalent network solids are usually, they don't conduct electricity, hard with high melting points. Yes, because of the strong covalent bonds. 26, graphite can conduct electricity. It has a free electron. There we go. 27, which element is commonly found in covalent network solids? Covalent carbon. Yep. Carbon is a non-metal linked directly to covalent bonding. Which of the following is not a covalent network? I'm going to go with, okay. Oh, the covalent network that they're talking about is giant. I see. So all of these, this is giant, this is giant, and this is giant, but this one would have been simple molecular. Graphite is soft because it has layers. That's why graphite is soft. And these layers can slide over each other. 30. In diamond, each carbon is bonded to 4 other carbons. And in graphite, each carbon is bonded to 3 other carbons. Now we're at metallic. Crystals. A metallic bond is an attraction between positive ions and a sea of delocalized electrons. 32, metals are good conductors because they have a delocalized electron. The electrons are free to move. Metals are malleable. Metals are malleable. Malleable meaning that they're able to flatten out. So it is because, here we are, atoms can shift without breaking bonds. That's it. Which of the following is a metallic crystal? Copper. Ice is simple covalent or simple molecular. So ice is simple. Diamond is also simple. Giant. Alright. 35. The structure of a metal lattice consists of ions in a sea of electrons. This right here would be talking about anions and cations. That's ionic bonding. 36. Which property is not typical for metals? Metals are lustrous. Metals have high electrical conductivity. Metals, this right here. Not speak anything about metals being soluble in water. Why are metals shiny? Metals are shiny because they have not ions, they have delocalized electrons that reflect light. I'm gonna take out this question. The term sea of electrons refers to the electrons being delocalized. 39. What happens when a metal is hammered? Metal is hammered. It doesn't shatter, it actually bends or flattens. And we call that malleability. Which property is shared by all metallic solids? All metallic solids are malleable. That's the answer. This part is mixed. Which type of solid conducts electricity? Only when molten or dissolved. Ionic solids. When molten. What is in molten ionic solids? Which substance has a high melting point and a good conductor? Sodium chloride. Well, let's see. Because it only conducts in the solid form. Graphite doesn't. Graphite conducts, yes. Um, Silicon does not. So I'm gonna go with graphite and iron. Any one of these would have been a good answer. Both have high melting points and are good conductors. Which solid is hard and has a high melting point but does not conduct electricity? So we know for sure that covalent structures does not conduct electricity. Diamond doesn't conduct electricity. Graphite conducts because it has a free electron moving around. What do all crystalline solids have in common? So all crystalline solids are regular repeating lattices. Which of these is a poor conductor of electricity? Poor conductor, I'm gonna go with diamond. Diamond doesn't conduct at all. Which type of bonding involves the sharing of electrons? That's covalent bonding. A property shared by both ionic and covalent network crystals is hardness. Yes, they're all hard. Which of the following has a giant molecular structure? Diamond. Which substance has atoms arranged in layers? Atoms arranged in layers, graphite. Hexagonal layers. Metals are ductile. They are able to stretch in wires not because electrons are fixed, not because ions repel each other. C is the answer. Layers slide without breaking bonds. And that's it for the revision.